Hello, good morning, everyone. Am I audible, everyone?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Joseph. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
good
are.
morning.
Okay. Can you hold on just for a moment? I think some more people will join. We'll begin shortly.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Just a minute. Okay, then. Everyone, good morning. Uh, my name is Stanley Joseph. I'm a systems administrator. I have over 15 years of experience in IT. I specialize in technologies relating to Microsoft domain, like Windows Server Administration, Active Directory, both offline and on cloud. Okay, then device management technologies like MDM, that is Intune, SECM, and I've also recently ventured into cloud technologies, that is Azure. Okay, so what we'll do today is, probably some of you may be already from relevant backgrounds, some may be new, but nevertheless, we'll try and understand the basics of Intune. What is this technology all about? How it helps IT companies? Why IT companies use it at all? And towards the end of the session, we can all clarify your queries if you have any, one by one. Sounds good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Am I
Yeah, yeah.
audible? Is my voice okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah, yes.
Okay. And I've shared my screen. Hope everyone can see.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, screen is visible.
Okay then. So let's see what Microsoft itself has to say about their technology to begin with. So Intune documentation, if you Google, so learn.microsoft.com, this is the official link. Not just Intune, for that matter, any Microsoft technology, you can get official documentation here. Okay. So Microsoft defines it as, securely manage identities, manage apps, and manage devices. Okay. In simple terms, okay, I think we are coming in one by one. Okay, right. Okay. So in simple terms, if you have to define, it's a MDM and MAM solution. Okay. Intune is a MDM and MAM solution, and this is important. It is cloud based, so you don't need any infrastructure on premise or in your company network. Everything is cloud based and everything is provided as a service. So that is software as a service. If you understand the cloud, functionalities, cloud computing stack, you have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So Intune is a service which is offered via cloud of Microsoft, which is Azure. Okay. So throughout the implementation of this technology, so this is what you need to understand. What is MDM and what is MAM, mobile device management and mobile application management. Okay. So I would be honest, if you are totally new to IT, yeah, this can be a bit complex to understand, but I would recommend that if you are already, into systems administration, either from Windows background or Linux background, so that would be better. Okay. Somebody relatively new to IT will find it difficult to begin with. So if you learn some fundamentals or if you are already in the system admin background, so that would be better. Okay. So MDM, mobile device management and mobile application management. So let's see Microsoft definition. Okay. So as organizations support hybrid and remote workforces, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, the demand for Intune raised because of the post-COVID situation. Of course, now everybody is coming back to office, but then again, in a 24/7 environment, you're always on the go, and it becomes mandatory that you work remotely also. Okay. So hybrid work environment or remote work environment, so they are challenged with managing different devices that access company resources. So employees and even students need to collaborate, work from anywhere, at the same time securely access and connect to these resources. And admins need to protect company data, manage end user access, and support users from wherever they work. So he talks about Intune architecture in the initial classes. We'll understand this. Today we'll try and keep it simple. Okay. So just to get the basics, we'll try and keep it simple. So what we can do first of all with Intune. So as a IT, company, and if I become an Intune admin, so for my company or client, the first thing I can do is I can manage the employees, the end users, that is, and their devices. From there, the devices that they log in. It can be a desktop or a workstation or a laptop or even a mobile, okay, a cell phone or even tablet for that matter. So Intune is about, mind you, a very important thing. Unlike SCCM, Intune does not support server. Okay, everything has to be a endpoint, a workstation, desktop, laptop, a mobile, or a tablet. No server support. So if you need server support, you have SCCM. That's a different aspect. So Microsoft did not design Intune for this aspect. It's an endpoint solution, cloud-based endpoint device management for mobile application management as well as mobile device management. Okay, so that is why there is a wrong notion that SECM will be replaced by Intune. So that's not true technically. So Intune is a different technology altogether. Yeah, agreed. There are some similarities between Intune and SECM, but at the same time, they are for two different purposes. Okay. So SECM traditionally is a on-prem solution. SECM or MECM, what you call it nowadays. So it's an on-prem solution and primarily server-based, meaning it can also client support endpoints. But like if you already have your own infrastructure, your own data centers, and you have to manage servers as well, then SECM is the solution. But for companies, mid-level companies, small companies, or companies that wish to migrate to cloud, or especially startups, so, they don't want to set up any of their own infrastructure. For them, Intune is the solution because Intune is cloud based, so everything is available to you as a service on demand. Okay, it's just like a subscription. You can have a user based license or device based license. Okay, and it's an endpoint management solution. So Microsoft has no intention of taking SCCM out of market by any means, and it is no way, Intune is no way a replacement for SCCM. In fact, both SCCM and Intune can coexist. That is what we call co-management. So this is becoming the trend in IT, co-management of devices, meaning the same device will have both SCCM client as well as Intune client. Okay, and you can manage some policies through SCCM and some policies through Intune according to your business requirement. MNCs, they'll have vast, large networks where they'll have a combined environment of both server management and endpoint management, and you'll have thousands of devices spreading across global networks. For them, this co-management becomes a solution to manage both server side as well as client side. Okay, so that is the first thing we can do: manage users and devices owned by your company. So we call it COD, company owned device, or it can be the employee's personal device, BYOD, bring your own device. So if your company allows that kind of scenario or enrollment, so you can do both. So company owned device can be enrolled into Intune, or end user's personal device can be enrolled into Intune. That doesn't mean you have to compromise with the security. Okay, so Intune supports devices like Android, okay, open source, or your regular Android versions, okay, iOS, iPad OS. So there is third party support also. Linux, Ubuntu desktop, this has been added recently into the support list. Mac OS is supported, and Windows client devices. Okay, so with Intune you can use these devices to securely access organization resources you with the policies that you can create. So it's all about a device, okay, a endpoint that you need to have. That's all, okay. You don't need any infrastructure, your own servers, okay, your own infrastructure, anything of that kind is not necessary. All you need is a device with internet access. That's all. It can be a mobile, tablet, or a laptop, and you can connect to your company resources with a safe and secure connection and access company data and other resources. Okay, so that is what Intune is all about. So if you manage on-premise Windows server, you can have config manager. So that is what is saying. So because Intune is primarily endpoint solution, okay. So endpoint means basically client devices. What else I can do? Simplify app management. So Intune has a built-in app experience, including app deployment, updates, and removal. So you can do end-to-end application management for the end user devices. Okay, so both Microsoft or third party. Okay, automate policy deployment. So we can create various policies like compliance policy, conditional access policy, okay, policy for app deployment, policy for updates deployment, a policy for autopilot where you can provision operating system, etc. Use some self-service features. So I can enable end user to have some self-service options. Okay, employees or students can use something called a company portal app. Okay, like if you are familiar with SCCM, you know what is software center. Similarly, with Intune, you have end user interface called company portal where end users will have some self-service options, and also a website, okay, self-service password reset, SSPS portal, okay, where users can log in, and whenever they need to reset a PIN or password, they can do that. Okay, so integrate with mobile threat defense, so you have advanced security features. And as an admin, this is my tool. So even as a admin, all you need is a device with internet connectivity. You can work from anywhere in the globe, that doesn't matter. So you just need a device with internet access. You can log into Intune portal and it will provide you a web-based admin center from where you can manage all your users and devices. Okay. Then you have advanced endpoint management and security. Now it is AI enabled. So you can use Microsoft Copilot in Intune for AI generated analysis. So this is also becoming the trend in IT now. Okay, some background in AI would be preferred. And integration with other Microsoft apps and services. So I can integrate with SCCM to work in a co-management environment. I can use Windows Autopilot for modern OS deployment and provisioning. So I can do the same in SCCM, but that is called operating system deployment. But this is OS provisioning. Okay. So if you look at the background, SCCM OSD involves a lot of effort before you can start deploying. So hold on. Okay. Can everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
hear me.
I just had a power cut, so I'm connected in mobile data. So I'm back. So can you see my screen?
Yes,
Oh, right. So autopilot is a way of deploying or provisioning modern operating system. Okay, so unlike SCCM imaging, where you spend a lot of time in customizing, creating, and deploying an image, here autopilot is a different technology altogether. Okay, within matter of minutes you can provision n number of devices with the latest version of Windows. Okay, which is OEM optimized. So no matter what device it is, whether Dell or HP or Asus or whatever model, whatever make, whatever drivers it needs, everything is readily deployed within matter of minutes. You can pull out some analytics useful for various purposes, okay, through INTUNE reporting. So we call it endpoint analytics. You can deploy Microsoft 365 apps through Intune. So Office 365 is now Microsoft 365. So now it's broad spectrum app range. So just it was Office apps previously when it was called Office 365. Now we have more Microsoft technologies in the ambit of this new naming convention. Okay, Microsoft 365. So you have Microsoft provided firewall, Defender for endpoint, that also you can manage through Intune. There is new technology. You can do automation of your entire patching process. Okay, so let's say I have 1,000 endpoints to manage, which are Windows machines, Windows 10 or 11, for example. So the patching process will be recurring every month, right? So second Tuesday of every month, we call it Patch Tuesday. Microsoft releases patches for all Windows, not just Windows, all Microsoft products. So every month you'll have to do this, patch your machines with latest updates, reboot, and then generate a compliance report, etc. A lot of admin effort goes into this recurring process. But if you want to, you can automate that through this option, Windows Auto Patch. So all these come through Intune. You can integrate with third-party partner devices and apps like Google Pay for Android apps. You can create Apple tokens and certificates for enrollment and apps for Apple devices. Okay, like TeamViewer for remote assist. Of course, Microsoft also has its own technology for this. But if you're already a TeamViewer user, you can integrate with Intune so that you can remotely administer your client machines. So I can do two things. I can enroll in device management only, or only for application management, or if you want full control of the device, if it is company owned, for example, you can do both, meaning both MDM and MAC. So let me pull a device, sorry, picture. So this is what Intune is all about. So features and the benefits. Okay. So manage devices from a central admin console, which is web-based. Deploy and update software. You can do various configuration settings, enforce various policies, monitor with data and reports. You can do remote administration, maintain networks of common operating system because that's a compliance requirement. Maintain networks of common operating system, sorry, I said that already. Optimize devices for business use, automate policy management, cloud attach, on-prem, SCCM. So you can do co-management. So entire INTUNE operations are divided into two categories, MDM and MAN. So what comes under MDM? See, enroll user devices, push apps onto those devices, restrict devices to use a specific operating system. So if my company says I don't want to use Windows 10 anymore because I think by next year end of December Windows 10 support will be withdrawn. So post 2025 December, if you are still using Windows 10, you will not be getting any updates officially from Microsoft. So at least by 2025 December, you'll have to upgrade all Windows 10 to 11. Okay. So you can block personal devices. So my company does not allow any employee's personal device for company access. So I can ensure that any end user's personal device will not be allowed to access my company network. Okay. So remove data from, what is that, lost or stolen devices. So suddenly, an employee reports his laptop or office mobile lost or stolen. So before anything can happen, so for avoiding from security breach, I can immediately block that device so that data breach will not happen. Security and protection, we can create various policies, like for example conditional access. Okay, so though I know that it is an employee who logs in with a username and password, but still I can implement an additional layer of security where some conditions will be implemented, like multi-factor authentication or conditional access, etc., just to ensure that the user is authenticated and authorized, and ensure that it is indeed your employee who is logging in from the particular device. Because unlike on-premise scenario where you might have VPN, but here it's not necessary. User can connect anywhere from anywhere just with a internet enabled device. But that doesn't mean that you are compromising security. Okay, so Intune has multiple layers of security to implement through various policies. Under mobile application management, so you can allow personal devices to access any resources. So some companies allow that. So they say, okay, employees can enroll or use their personal device to access company resource, but I'll make sure that it is protected by my policies, and that device will have two distinct profiles. Okay, so in Tune, that is what we can do. So though it is a personal device of the employee, so imagine this is the device, so a tablet or a mobile. So I can create two distinct profiles here through Intune. So the end user's personal profile will be different and work profile will be different. Okay, so this will be all personal data and apps of the user. This will be all work related apps and data. So there will be a separation layer between the personal profile and work profile. So if I don't want anything from work profile being copied or accessed onto personal profile, I can totally block that, because this is company data or company apps we are talking about. So we can do that segregation. So prompt users to authenticate. So when users log in, not just a regular name and password, but I can configure additional layers of security. Remove data from lost or stolen device. So I can do that just like a company owned device. Even when a personal device is reported stolen or lost, we can do that. And even for personal devices, I can enforce various security and protection policies. Now it's almost same, right? Mobile device and mobile application management. So we will understand the difference, but at the basic level. So here in MDM, you will have to enroll that device. Okay. So whether it is company owned or personal, you'll have to enroll that device. But with MAM, without having to enroll the device, we can still do certain things. So that is the basic difference between MDM and MAM. Okay. So a custom scenario where you don't want to enroll the device, but still you want to enforce policies onto that device, then you can opt for mobile application management. Okay. Fine. Just to give you some timeline, okay, brief history of Intune. So back in April 2010, Intune was originally introduced by Microsoft. So it was called Windows Intune because to begin with, the support was primarily for Windows devices. But later, after 4 years, on 8th of October, Microsoft announced plans to extend the service to other platforms, third party. So they started including Android, Apple, recently Linux support, that is for Ubuntu. Chrome OS is also in the testing phase. So very soon you'll see Chrome OS support going live, etc. Okay, so more and more third party support will only come into picture gradually. So then they renamed it to Microsoft Intune. So what was the purpose? So Intune is a part of Microsoft technology called Endpoint Manager. Is a Microsoft cloud-based management tool for mobile devices that aim to provide unified endpoint management of both corporate and BAOD equipment. So COD meaning company owned device and BAOD meaning bring your own device. So either company uh, enrolls the device owned by the company itself. So company issues you a laptop or a office mobile or a tablet, for example. Or some companies allow end user owned devices. So that is what BAOD. In a way that protects corporate data. It extends some of the on-premise functionality of Microsoft Endpoint Config Manager to Azure. So this is co-management. So you can manage the same device with both SCCM client and Intune client. Now distribution. So this is the advantage with Intune. As I said, it is cloud-based. No on-premise infrastructure is required for clients to use Intune. Okay, I'm a simple startup company with just 50 employees to begin with. So all I have is about 20 desktops uh, and 30 laptops. But I need some mobile device management services. So even if I'm ready to build a bit of server environment for Active Directory, domain services, and user management, etc. So I'll have to uh, invest a lot of money to begin with. Okay, capital expenditure. So invest some space, office space to maintain server infra. So buy hardware. Okay, and provide physical security and other layers of security for the servers. So a lot of capital expenditure goes into picture. and then monthly you'll have to do maintenance for these servers. So that is operational expenditure. So but Intune eliminates all that capital expenditure and operational expenditure, because you don't need any infrastructure on premise. So for clients to use Intune, management is accomplished using a web-based portal. So why we don't need infrastructure? This is cloud service. Okay, Microsoft Azure is already providing you all the background infrastructure, whatever you need. So all you need is to manage your devices, enroll into Intune, sign up for a Intune subscription, create your Azure AD tenant, now we call it Entra ID, and start managing your users and devices. Okay. So distribution is through a subscription system in which fixed monthly cost is incurred. I'll come to licensing shortly. It is also used to use Endpoint Manager in co-management with Microsoft SCCM. So it's included in EMS, Enterprise Mobility and Security Suite, and Office 365 Enterprise. So this is, the mention of various Microsoft products which include Intune license or functionality. So Intune supports Android, iOS, Mac OS, Windows operating systems. Chrome OS is in preview, and Linux for Ubuntu 22 and higher versions. There is support available. Administration is done via a web browser. Okay. And then this is all about the Endpoint Management Suite. So some comparisons we can do. Before that, I'll talk about Intune competitors. Okay. So why Intune? Why most IT companies prefer Intune compared to third-party options available or other competitors in the market? Okay. So the reason is EMS, that is Enterprise Mobility and Security. It's a one vendor, one contract, one SKU system. So when you go with Intune under EMS licensing option, one vendor, one contract, one pricing system. Let's understand this. So cloud identity management. So let's say I have 50 user employees for whom I want to create identities. So x.com is my company. So user1@x.com. So that's your identity to log in, or your user principal. So like this, I have to create at least 50 identities. So where will I store this information? Normally on premise you would have Active Directory, but Intune is on cloud. So where will I do this? So Microsoft provides something called a tenant. Okay, Active Directory tenant on cloud. So cloud identity management is provided by some third party solutions like Okta, Salesforce Identity, Ping Identity, Centrify. Now how about MDM and MAM? So products like AirWatch, Mobile Iron, Symantec, etc., they only provide MDM and MAM. They don't provide identity management. So if I want to do, I have to buy 2 licenses. Let's say Salesforce Identity license for identity management, and for MDM and MAM, so maybe AirWatch license. And for information protection, again, I have to buy one more license from one more vendor. So Adobe Lifecycle or FASU or Seclor, etc. So it's like buying different vendor licenses for different services. So that will eventually result in higher cost and a complex management, because you'll have to deal with multiple vendors for different services. But with Microsoft, this is the advantage. So all this cloud identity management, MDM and MAM, and information protection, all three are available with one vendor, one contract, and one pricing system. Okay, so that includes Azure AD Premium, Intune, and Azure Rights Management Service. So eventually the cost is reasonable and you are dealing with a single vendor, single license system that covers basically all the cloud services you need. So this is the advantage with Intune and why almost 70 to 80% of the cloud service market prefers Intune to other third party. Okay. Now, how is Intune pricing? So it's a simple licensing system, user based or device based licensing. So if you have brought any of these licenses from Microsoft, that includes Intune. For example, Microsoft 365 E5 or E3, or Enterprise Mobility plus Security E5 or E3, or Microsoft 365 Business, etc. Okay, but this pricing is a bit, this document, I think this PPT, or sorry, this picture is a bit old one. So if you need latest information, you get it from Microsoft official, and look at what is the pricing in India now. So Intune plans and pricing. So to begin with, you have something called Intune Plan 1. So this is about $8 to begin with. Okay, per user per month. Very reasonable. If you want to include Intune Plan 2 for additional features, so you pay $4 more additional. So $12 per user per month. Or if you want the entire Intune suite, so then it comes down $2. So for $10 you get per user per month all Intune services. So what all it includes? So Intune core capabilities, Intune tunnel for MAM, Intune management of specialty devices. Okay, you can see the features. So there are many wide variety of Microsoft products you can go through that include Intune license, but based on your business requirement, you choose Microsoft license. Okay, or if you are looking for the complete suite, okay, you have EMS, Enterprise Mobility and Security. If you look at EMS pricing, look at this. Okay, so you have the E3 version. This also includes Intune license, so that's about 885 per user per month plus GST applicable. I think that will be 18%. If you are looking at some advanced features like information protection, identity driven security, then you can go with E5 version. So this is about 1370 per user per month plus GST. So when you compare it with building your own infrastructure on premise, it involves a lot of capital expenditure to begin with, and then once your data center is set up, you'll have monthly maintenance, meaning operational expenditure. So every month you'll have to do maintenance. You will need dedicated team of administrators to do the maintenance, to do the patching, hardware maintenance, management, repairs, replacements. Okay, you need physical security, software security of your data center. So when you compare it with cloud-based services, so the cost comes down by a great deal. That is the advantage why companies prefer cloud-based services. Okay, maybe MNCs, Fortune 500 companies, they continue to maintain their own data centers because their networks are big, Even those Fortune 500 companies have started migrating most of their services to cloud because the cost is reasonable. Fine. So this is about pricing, Intune pricing, and competitors I've talked about. So comparison, a little bit of Intune comparison with SECM. So technically they should not be compared because primary differences. So you should understand if you work in a co-management environment. So SECM is on-premise solution and it will support server plus client, meaning endpoint. Whereas Intune is strictly cloud-based service and it is only for endpoint support. It does not support servers. So there are two opposite technologies. Microsoft did not invent or design Intune, develop Intune to replace SCCM. Okay, so rather they have developed it as a on-cloud solution. SCCM will remain for as long as Microsoft will exist as a software vendor. Okay, so will be Intune. So if you have come across people talking about SCCM being replaced or going to get replaced with Intune, that's not true. Even if Microsoft decides today to replace Intune, SCCM with Intune, it is going to take at least 10-15 years for them because Microsoft has a large base of customers of SCCM. So they'll all have to migrate to Intune. So that's not going to happen that easily. Okay. So that was never the intention of Intune application development. So rather differences are there. Okay. Similarities as well as differences. Now as an IT company or a admin, you'll have to decide what is suitable to you. Okay. Or in fact, you may use both. Okay. So in one of the initial sessions, I'll talk about this differences, comparisons, etc. Fine. So what else we need to know? Yeah, job levels, some useful information. So if you are relevantly new to Intune, you can begin at L1 role or L2 role. So depending upon your background and your experience, you will be offered L1, L2 role if you are relatively new to Intune. If you have already had some experience, like 3 plus in Intune, you can go into L3 or SME role. Okay, so at L1, L2, you'll have business as usual tasks, operational work, deployment troubleshooting, plus reporting, plus incident management, tickets, handle tickets. At L3 or SME level, you can have business as usual escalations you can handle. You can suggest process improvement. You can do a complete implementation project, IPD, infrastructure planning and designing. And if you are good with scripting and all, you can do a lot of automation, etc. So this is how job prospects look like. I mean the level of admins that work in Intune. Okay, so to begin with, you target to work at L1, L2 roles, and after 3 to 5 years, you move to L3 or SME role. Okay. What else? Exams. So this is the latest exam. So previously we had some other ports. Now everything is retired. So the latest exam is MD102 Endpoint Administrator. So you can just Google. So if you are indeed interested in completing your certification, this is just like any other Microsoft certification. You'll have to, book a slot at one of the Prometric testing centers or any other Microsoft testing partners. So this is called Microsoft 365 Certified Endpoint Administrator Associate. So this is the certification you'll have to complete. Okay, so Microsoft does a lot of changes to their certification process. So back in the day, like about 5-10 years back, certificates were valid up to 5 years, etc. Now every Microsoft certificate is valid only for 1 year. Okay, so that it means that after 1 year you might have to write the upgrade exam. Okay, but certificate is never the parameter or benchmark for you to get a job, etc. Definitely this will be a value add to your CV, but this is not at all a mandatory requirement. Okay, if you have it, that's better. Even if you don't have it, what really matters is your knowledge on the subject and your relevant experience ultimately. Okay, but do plan for certification after the curriculum, and that definitely becomes a value add to your CV. So deploy Windows client, manage identity and compliance, manage, maintain and protect devices, and manage applications. So these are the primary skills that will be measured in the certification exam. So all the topics will be covered in your curriculum that will be necessary for you to pass your exam. Okay, so just Google it, exam MD102. That is the what else. Okay, so a list of topics what we are going to do. So I'll take you through introduction first, all about Intune. So what is MDM MAM all about? Then we need to understand Azure Active Directory by a great deal. Now we call it Entra ID. So tenant administration for user and group management. So you'll have employees in your IT company whose identities you'll have to manage. So let it be 10 or 100 or 1000, doesn't matter. So you manage them either individually or in groups as per your requirement. Okay, then we'll have to understand the fundamentals of device enrollment, how to enroll a device into Intune, either in a standalone scenario or if you are working for a MNC like which has already an on-premise scenario, you'll have a domain environment, Active Directory domain environment. So the process will be slightly complex and extensive. So you'll have to enroll into Intune where the the device is already domain joined. Okay, so you'll have hundreds and thousands of devices. In a standalone scenario, maybe you will enroll a device manually, but in a domain environment, you'll have hundreds and thousands of devices, so you'll have to automate the process. So we can create a group policy and make sure that let the device number be any, doesn't matter, 100,000, 10,000. I can ensure that it gets enrolled into Intune automatically. Then we look into application deployment where Intune supports methods like Win32 app deployment or line of business app deployment. And you can do this Microsoft Store, just like Google, you have Google Play Store for Android devices. You have App Store for Apple devices. For Windows devices, you have Microsoft Store. Okay, so how to deploy applications from Microsoft Store on bulk, you can do that. Then you can do patching through Intune. So it's called Windows Updates for Business. So we can do feature updates deployment, so which are released twice every year. So feature update is like version upgrade for an operating system. So you'll get once in March, once in November, or it can be once in February, once in October. Okay. Then you have quality updates, which are released every second Tuesday of the month, called Patch Tuesday. Drivers, if you have any device drivers and other Microsoft product updates, they all can be deployed through Intune. Autopilot, so you can do provisioning of operating system. So n number of devices, you can readily deploy operating system and get them production ready within matter of minutes. So set up or pre-configure new devices ready for productive use, reset them, repurpose and recover devices. In case of lost or stolen scenarios, you can do all this. We'll understand concepts of on-premise Active Directory also, implement on-premise AD and do a comparison with on-cloud Active Directory, and understand few concepts of DNS, so we can do the integration between on-premise and on-cloud for the co-management scenario. So we'll have to get into topics like RBAC, role-based access control. So at L1, L2, you are not going to get full control, admin privileges. So it will be role-based. Okay, maybe at L3 or SME level, you'll get full control. So how do I delegate tasks to my Intune admin team? Some at senior level will have full control, some will have role-based access control. Okay, so policies like conditional access, scope tagging will go through. Monitoring and reporting for troubleshooting issues in Intune. Remote control of your devices, so when troubleshooting has to happen, so let's say some user's device has some problem, so how do I make sure that I take remote control of that machine and troubleshoot the issue. Then you have PIM, privileged identity management. So this is called just-in-time access to execute some admin tasks without having to provide admin privileges on a permanent basis. You can rather limit it to a particular date and time. Co-management, so we will see how to enable co-management. So meaning in an on-premise, on-cloud scenario, you'll have to enforce policies both through SCCM and Intune. So meaning on the same machine, we will deploy SCCM client as well as Intune client. And you can see some policies will be enforced through Intune and some policies will be enforced through SCCM. For troubleshooting, so what issues you come across frequently in Intune and how to troubleshoot them. And of course, towards the end, third-party device management. So Apple enrollment, Android enrollment, and Linux enrollment. So third party definitely supported, but the functionality will not be 100%. What you can do for a Windows device, you can't do exactly everything and all the things for third party, but yeah, definitely there will be support for third party and you can do a lot of things even for third party devices within Intune. Okay, so this will be the list of topics that we'll go through, and I'll ask Shankar to share the curriculum with you, Intune curriculum. Please go through that. Okay, so what else? Talk talked about almost everything. Yeah, so cloud service models I'll discuss in one of the initial sections, but just to give you some basic aspect. I was referring to Intune as a SaaS service, right? So meaning software as a service. So what does that mean? So traditional IT, if you look at, so this is how it is, right? And let's say I work for a company which has its own data center. So this is how it looks like on premise. So everything is managed by company's admin team. So the underlying network, storage, server hardware, virtualization, then your VMs or actual servers, the databases like SQL, Oracle, etc. Any security and integration layer like AD, etc. Runtimes like Java, .NET, and on top of that, your business applications. Everything you have to take care. So meaning you have administrators at various levels, network admins, storage admins, system admins, taking care of your entire infrastructure. But when you move on to cloud, the scenario will change. So I can access cloud services in three different ways. First is infrastructure as a service. So here, see what happens. Networking, storage, server hardware, and virtualization, all this will be managed by your vendor, meaning Azure in Microsoft's case. If it is like Amazon, you have AWS. If it is Google, you have GC. So the model will be same with any vendor. This is called cloud computing stack. But you will manage only these things: servers, databases, security, runtime, applications. The same cloud services I can deploy in a different model called PaaS, platform as a service. So see what happens here. From networking up to runtime layer, everything is managed by the vendor. You just focus on your applications, development, testing, deployment, all that. But in software as a service, everything is managed by vendor. Okay, so all you need to do is you need a device with internet access. You just log into the portal provided by the vendor and then you just access it. Okay, so this is how Intune works. It's software as a service. So I'll just have to log into a portal called admin.microsoft.com and then choose my account and log in. This is my admin portal. So a web-based interface where I can do my day-to-day administration. Right? So from here I'll have to access again three different portals for various. So identity. So this is where you will do your identity management. So Entra ID or Azure Active Directory. Then for your endpoint portal, so for your device management. See, you can do security from here, compliance from here. So you can access multiple portals from here to do your day-to-day administration and all your admin centers in a single place. Or if you want to directly go to Intune portal, so it was endpoint.microsoft.com previously. Now it is intune.microsoft.com. Of course, I'll give you the list of all URLs that are important for an Intune admin. See. So this is your Intune admin center. Intune.microsoft. So this is the portal you will access on a day-to-day basis for your admin tasks. So manage your devices from this plate, apps from here. So this is a trial that I've signed up. So I think trial is expired. So it says no access. That's fine. So manage your users, groups from here, tenant administration, and troubleshooting and support. And a list of all services will be available from here. Okay, so especially these three portals we use on a daily basis. So the 365 admin center, then Entra admin center, and Intune admin center. Probably at L1, L2, you may not have access to these two portals, but at least you'll have access to Intune admin center. At L3, L4 or SME levels, you'll also have access to these two portals, 365 admin center and Entra admin center. Okay. So your curriculum is all about understanding this entire concept of MDM and MAM, mobile device management and mobile application management. Let me pull up the curriculum once. Yeah. So first we'll look at an introduction of on-premise concepts and on-cloud concepts. Okay. Then implement autopilot, provisioning of operating systems. Okay. Then Intune device enrollment and inventory, working with profiles, device profiles. So on premise you have a different version of it. On cloud we call it device profile. Then implementing conditional access and compliance policies. Application deployment with the help of MAM. Managing and implementing updates through Intune. So management of DNS records for Intune. And some new topics which have been added, like configuring co-management, on-premise integration with on-cloud Intune, and your RBAC, Intune role-based access control. Fine. So this curriculum is designed for you to, support in L1, L2, L3 roles when you join a Intune project, and you have to deal with these three roles. Okay, at an SME level, I would recommend that you learn some PowerShell scripting. You have the background already, that would be helpful, but down the line you can do a lot of automation if you want to do, or if you can add PowerShell scripting to your skill set, or any other scripting for that matter. But usually Windows based admins, PowerShell will be very helpful, and it will help you to do a lot of automation. Okay. So I would recommend that you have some relevant background, at least some basics of systems administration, either from Windows or Linux background. So if you are relatively new to IT, think about it. Take some basics of Windows administration, then you get into Intune. Okay. If you are already into systems administration, then it becomes relatively easy for you to understand Intune. And if you have already worked in SCCM, that's much better. Okay, because it's almost the same concept, but everything we'll be doing on cloud. But nevertheless, if you are keen to learn a new technology that will be the future of IT, with some fundamental knowledge of systems administration, everybody can learn INTUNE. It's just a matter of time and effort. 1 month for training, another 1 month for your preparation, and then planning for your certification. So like within 3 months of time and effort, you should be ready to complete your certification and start your job trials. Or if you're already in an IT job, maybe look for some lateral movement or attrition into a INTUNE project. Okay, fine then. Now anybody has any queries one by one, you can
Yeah,
go ahead.
Joseph, there at this side. So, if in an environment like we have server operating systems and also Windows operating systems, right? So,
Mm.
I'll be using SCCM for servers and Windows and Intune only for Windows operating system. Is that-
You mean client,
Yeah,
endpoint? Yeah,
client. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So if you already have an on-premise server environment, Intune is not the solution, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by design, that is what not Intune is going to do. Okay, so the very definition of Intune is endpoint management solution.
Okay.
So endpoint means what? Client,
Client
obviously.
operating system. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's a combined environment of both servers and clients, then SCCM is the solution.
Okay. And
Okay, yeah.
I can use SCCM for cloud and also for on-premise.
No, SCCM is an on-premise solution strictly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you can do an integration
Mm-hmm.
of SCCM environment with Intune. That
Mm-hmm.
is where co-management comes into picture.
Okay.
So we'll be implementing co-management,
Mm-hmm.
okay, in a live scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing is, yeah, the
Okay.
environment will not be as big as real time.
Okay.
So we'll just create a domain environment
Mm-hmm.
with one AD, one SCCM, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe one or two clients. Then we'll see the integration of your on-premise AD with Azure AD.
Okay. So
Okay,
the
but
but
the process will be similar in real time. Okay,
okay. Okay.
only thing will be the number of machines that you are migrating or integrating will be different. That's the difference. Okay.
So basically, both the tools are used for the same purpose. One is for
Yes,
on-prem and one is for cloud.
exactly. Okay, the purpose is similar, but
Mm-hmm.
the scenario is different.
Got it.
Okay, so the scenario is SCCM is on premise
Mm-hmm.
and Intune is purely on cloud.
Okay.
So when to go for what
Mm-hmm.
is your decision and your business requirement.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if I have servers also to manage
Mm-hmm. On cloud.
on cloud,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that is again Azure VMs, Azure virtual machines.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the virtual machines you'll have to install SCCM and configure SCCM.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story altogether.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, but if you already have an on-premise, say, data center,
Mm-hmm.
and you have like 1,000 servers to manage, so
Mm-hmm.
SCCM will be the solution.
Yes. Yes. So
Intune does not deploy even a single policy to servers,
got it.
whereas SCCM can do both.
Both.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
supports both servers as well as clients
Yeah. But only on-prem, not on cloud.
on on-prem. Yeah,
Got it.
on cloud also I can do. It doesn't matter. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so let's say I want to implement everything on cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So I want like 10,000, sorry, 1,000 servers I want to manage
Mm-hmm.
through SCCM, but I want on cloud.
Okay.
So what I can do, I can create a Azure VNet.
Mm-hmm.
Within that VNet, I can deploy these 1,000 server VMs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one VM, I'll make it Active Directory domain controller.
Mm-hmm.
and on one VM I'm going to install SCCM, okay, with
Mm-hmm.
SQL Server
Mm-hmm.
on one more VM, and create a traditional SCCM environment. That also I can do on cloud.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, if it is strictly for servers, yes, I can do on cloud also. SCCM can be deployed directly on cloud, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
That is also there.
Got it.
Okay, so but primary difference, if it is server machines to manage,
Mm-hmm.
Intune can't do anything.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if it is clients only, then Intune is the solution. Okay, so you'll have to understand the
Yeah. Yeah.
business requirement here
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
your client. So
Okay.
client wants a uh, endpoint management solution
Mm.
without any capital expenditure or operational expenditure,
Mm-hmm.
and client wants to go live ASAP.
Mm.
Okay, so
Mm.
Intune will be the best solution,
Yes, sufficient.
because within matter of minutes you can sign up for Intune subscription.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a 30-day trial period,
Mm-hmm.
or if it is EMS, you'll get 90-day trial period depending upon what type of license you
Mm-hmm.
sign up for, and test all the features. And once you are satisfied, you can buy licenses in bulk and start using Intune. Okay, so for that kind of scenario, we'll go with Intune.
Got it.
But if your client has both servers as well as clients to manage, endpoints that is, then you'll have to think about SCCM.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if your client is prepared to invest in a own data center, so that is when you will plan for a on-premise solution.
Mm-hmm.
But client says, let's plan everything on cloud itself, but we will have our own servers. Then this is how you should plan. You should create Azure VNet and deploy all your servers within
Okay.
this VNet, and SCCM can be deployed on cloud also.
Okay.
Then you
So,
can support both servers and your endpoints.
so I should have knowledge on Azure as well, or any cloud technologies, or
Not necessarily, not necessarily. So whatever the basic fundamental knowledge you need on Azure, I will be discussing that in initial classes. Okay, Azure has hundreds of services to learn.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you can't learn entire Azure,
Mm.
because the range of services offered in Azure is very broad spectrum, very wide.
Yeah.
So you'll have to choose specialities. Are you becoming a Azure developer, or
Mm-hmm.
Azure administrator, or Azure architect, etc. Okay. But
And
for us to learn Intune,
mm,
so we need some fundamental understanding of Entra ID.
mm.
Okay. So that I'll be discussing in a couple of sessions.
Okay, and it could be any
So
cloud,
when
right? IBM, it could be AWS, it could be Azure, or it could be IBM.
no, no, no. Integration is with Azure initially. Yeah. So now third party integration, partnering, that is also coming into picture, where you will have to develop some tools,
Okay.
or there are some companies which have developed tools where you can integrate with third parties also. Yeah, that is okay. Okay. But I'll be signing up for a trial with Azure, so I'll stick to Entra ID.
Okay.
Okay, or I'll be using license version anyhow, trial mostly. So I'll stick to Entra ID. Okay, because if I sign up with AWS or Google again, so that becomes multi-vendor system. Okay, so identity management we'll have to do there, and all the services will be here. So you need a tool that can interact with both Intune portal and third party portal. Okay, so companies do that definitely, because sometimes you'll have resources with multi vendors. Yeah, but we'll stick to Entra ID, because full functionality for Intune management is with Entra ID.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure what Google has or AWS has Do they have their own directory services on cloud or not? I'm not sure. But with Azure, we do have Entra ID. Yes. Okay. So I will be definitely walking you through Entra ID concepts when in one of the initial sessions we'll be talking about identity management. So we'll all need some basic understanding of both on-premise AD and on-cloud Entra ID. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Adrit, right? Anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything technical or non-technical? Anything at all? Feel free to clarify your
Joseph,
queries.
Joseph Vishnu here. Just one thing about the
Go ahead.
licensing. What
Yeah.
we have discussed as of now, is that what about licensing, or you are going to discussing deep again about licensing? I just want to
I'll talk about,
understand.
yeah, in the introduction classes, I'll definitely walk you through licensing factors again. So it purely depends on your business requirement again.
Yeah, for as of now,
Okay.
if I have
Yeah.
got E3 license, will
Huh.
enterprise license will be with inbuilt, or I need to take E5 license for both Office
Not
3.
necessarily. Okay. So the difference between E3 and E5 are some additional features or advanced features.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
these
say
will
for
be discussed
example,
in
yeah,
coming
E,
classes, right? Or yeah.
sorry.
All these points will be discussed in coming classes about licensing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So in a E3 license, I'll get INTUNE features. Agreed. Okay.
Mhm.
But let's say I want to implement conditional access.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or let's say I want to implement privileged identity management.
Mhm.
Okay. So they will need Entra ID premium version 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will not be available with E3. So
No,
that
no.
E3 you'll have to upgrade to E5.
Yeah, my question was with Office
Ah,
365 license, will Intune
yes.
be a default license? If
Yes,
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 what is that
yes.
we get? We get E3 or E5? That's what I want to
Uh,
understand.
that is what E3 and E5 have some feature differences.
See,
Microsoft,
what I have seen is like in for Office 365, even E3
yeah,
licenses are being given.
uh,
If most of the companies MNCs will go for E3 and Intune as a separate license. If I want to get all of them in bulk, what will be
yes,
the license I need to choose?
EMS would be better. Enterprise Mobility and Security E5.
Okay, Office
Okay.
365 E5 with Intune
No,
E5.
no. Again, that will not, EMS E5 will not include Office apps.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is why it is rather important that you contact the sales team and tell them your requirement. Okay. So these licensing concepts you will only clarify with the official sales team. Before you actually buy them, you tell them their requirement and then you buy the license accordingly. So the picture I am showing you here, so what
Yeah.
it suggests is if you have brought any one of these licenses from Microsoft, it
Mhm.
includes an Intune license.
Okay, for example, you are showing Microsoft 365 E3 license. With that
E5,
Intune,
E3 license, yeah.
with that Intune E5 also is been given,
No,
or
there is no license called Intune E5. No. So you have something called Intune Plan 1, Plan 2, or the complete suite.
you mean to say like with E3
Huh.
license of Office Microsoft 365, we get Intune complete suite.
Not
The,
complete suite. Intune Plan 1
the
you get.
second option
Second option, Microsoft 365 E3, you'll get Intune Plan 1.
with E5 complete suite, I get. Oh.
With E5, it's always complete suite. Okay, because look at the price difference. So it's almost 15, sorry, how much? 32, 42. 52 plus 7, $25 higher. Okay. So
Let's say if I have E3 and I want to have Intune license, again a separate uh, cost.
no, if you already have E3,
Mhm.
that includes Intune license already. You don't need to buy again Intune license separately.
Okay, but for management security purpose, I should be having Intune E5, right?
No, again, there is nothing like Intune E5. You have
Mhm.
Microsoft 365 E3 E5 or Office 365 E3 E5. In
Mhm.
Intune, we have three modes. Plan 1, Intune alone, if you are looking for. So you have Plan 1, Plan 2, or complete Intune suite. Okay. So look at Intune pricing. If you look at Intune based features, see Intune Plan 1, Intune Plan 2, the complete suite is this. So Plan 1, what does it offer? Intune core capabilities. So what does it mean?
Yeah, that is fine, Joseph. My understanding still is not clear. If I have Office 365 license with the sorry, Office 365 license E3, I have complete Intune suite. You mean to say?
Not complete. So that is what I am telling you. E3 comes with basic Intune license, which will have core capabilities. So you can do cross-platform endpoint management, built-in endpoint security, MAM, endpoint analytics, config manager integration. But if I need some additional features or advanced features like these, then
Hmm.
it has to be E5 versions.
Okay, means like all my
Okay, so
can
no
all.
license is with complete features, remember.
Okay.
So even E5 will lack some features ultimately. So you'll have to buy some add-ons, for example. See, now if I need remote help, so I can remote control my devices, so I'll need a Microsoft Intune remote help license as a add-on. So I should be paying additional $3.50 for this. But if I've brought Intune Suite, this will be part of
Okay.
it. Okay. So technically it's not, easy for us to remember all licenses with all features. So always contact sales team and clarify all your queries before buying your license. Okay. So what's your business requirement basically to begin with? So first of all, I want to do MDM, mobile device management, plus MAM I want to do. Okay. What
Yes.
else I need? I need to do identity management for my users. Okay. And I want of MS365 apps. So this is a basic requirement for me to begin with.
Yes.
Okay. So then MS365 E5 is better. It covers everything.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say I don't want MS365 at all. So I just want
Okay.
MDM with MAM and identity management. So I can go with Intune Plan 1. Why spend $57 per user per month? You don't need
Okay.
Office 365 apps. So then just go with Intune Plan 1. But I need some more add-ons later.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Microsoft tells me upgrade that to at a $2 extra cost. You can upgrade that to Intune Suite and you will get some add-ons like this. Intune Remote Help, Intune PIM, Endpoint Privileged Management, Intune Advanced Analytics, Enterprise
Mhm.
Application Management, etc. Now, instead of paying separately for every add-on, so this is $2, $2, $5, $3, another $3, so that's going up to 2025. Instead, you are paying for the entire Intune suite per user $10 per month.
Okay. Second thing,
Okay,
Joseph,
yeah.
like, is there any possibility to migrate existing SCM machines into Intune? Means like you might say like with co-management we can do this, we can link them, but
No, no, in co-management, we are not migrating anything.
that's
We
what
are
we are
doing an
managing.
integration.
We are putting a co-management and integrating with Intune. It's only one-way traffic, like I can say, only conditional policies can be applied for SCM mission. Only such kind of things we can do, or any software
No, no,
deployments
no.
also we can do with that
So once
co-management.
you do integration through co-management,
Mhm.
okay, so then I'll be in full control and decide what policies to be deployed through what client. Okay. So for example, if I want to do, once integration is done,
Mhm.
so as of now, I have been doing compliance policy through SECM.
Yes.
Okay. But now post integration, I want to do compliance policy through Intune.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can do the workload setting and ensure that all compliance policies will be done through Intune.
Can you quote one
Getting the point?
compliance policy, for example, tenant restriction?
Anything. It can be anything. Operating system should be Windows 11 only, or desktop RAM should be 16 GB or higher but not less. Okay, or processor should be i5 or higher.
Means like for this to be co-management, all these SCM machines should be hybrid Azure AD joined machines. That is the prerequisites. Or
Obviously, yes. Okay, let me explain. See, once I do the integration, so co-management is what? In simple terms, the same device has CM client and the same device has Intune management extension, IME. So
Mhm.
in simple terms, Intune client. Okay. Now onto this device, I can deploy some policies through SCCM, some policies through Intune. Now you decide based on your business requirement which policy you want to deploy through Intune, which policy you want to deploy through SCCM. But the same type of policy you can't deploy through both agents. That is not possible. Obviously, this will result in a conflict.
Okay, let's say there is an
Okay.
example,
Yeah.
Joseph. There is an example. There is a co-management applied, and now I have visibility in both SCM and Intune. I want
Yeah.
to upgrade all the machines which are in co-management to Windows 11, and I want to do that with
Which are in
Intune.
co-management too.
Sorry.
Can you repeat that? So
Uh,
devices which are in
Yeah,
co-management, you said you
which are in
wanted to upgrade.
co-management, I want to upgrade them to Windows 11
Okay.
through Intune. Is that possible?
So it is possible. You can do autopilot.
No, no. There are existing PCs which are in SCM. Now,
Yeah.
those became hybrid Azure ready joined, and they are in co-management with Intune Entra ID.
Yes.
And I want to upgrade them to Windows 11 with Intune.
Yes. Yes. So you can do a reset of all those Windows 10 machines through Intune Autopilot.
No, no,
Getting my
I
point?
don't want to do reset. Existing PCs, I want to migrate to Windows 11.
You That is what you are upgrading operating system, isn't it?
Yeah, existing OS, I need to upgrade.
Yeah, existing OS is what? Windows 10.
Yeah,
You want to upgrade to 11.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to do that through Intune, you have
Mhm.
something called autopilot.
Okay.
Getting my point? Okay. So if you want to upgrade to SCCM has OSD process, right?
No, no, I understand autopilot.
Ah,
My question is like existing OS, autopilot comes into picture when you reset the laptop, right?
not necessarily. Even for existing operating system, you will do a reset.
Means user will lose any data or
Not necessarily. You will take a backup of everything. So while I do reset, it will ask me, do you want to erase everything or do you want to keep your existing data and apps? I'll say retain everything, don't erase anything. Plus, as a precaution, I'll take all important data backup. Just in case if something goes wrong, I should have a backup copy to restore. Autopilot is not going to format your C drive, right?
normally,
Getting my point?
yeah, autopilot. What I have learned is like for new
Huh.
PCs, when we are buying, we buy with autopilot, and those will be enrolled
Not
into
necessarily, not
yeah.
necessarily. It's not
Okay.
that autopilot is done only for new devices.
Okay.
Existing devices can be reset also
Without losing any, let's say there are AD
without
joined
losing
in the
any data or any apps. Yes.
there is an existing AD joined PC and I want
Yeah.
to migrate it to Windows 11. For example,
Huh.
existing one of the client has a requirement of having no store in the PC, and I want to upgrade them to Windows 11.
Having what?
Let's say on existing Windows 10 PC, okay,
Huh.
there is no Windows Store, okay.
How can that be?
No, there is. It's a company policy. You should not
Huh.
install a store
See,
on Windows. We will remove a
you can
store
only
on that.
block that. Windows Store is by default operating system integrated.
That's what we
Okay.
will
Yeah.
remove
If
the
you want to
store on all our
block access,
endpoints.
you do
Let's
that.
say,
Yes. Yeah.
and it doesn't have a store. Okay. In
Huh.
those case, I want to
Okay.
migrate them to Windows 11.
Yes.
You mean to say like I need to make all of them autopilot ready and then start reset? Is that what you mean to
No.
say?
See, there is two options you have. Okay. You
Mhm.
have Windows 10 machines that you want to upgrade to 11. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now through SCCM, what option do I have? Leave alone Intune for time being.
Yeah.
So as an SCCM admin, what option do I have to upgrade? So I have the OS deployment process. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll upload Windows 11 image that I want to upgrade to into one of my DPs.
Mhm.
Okay. And create a task sequence
Yes.
in SCCM.
Yeah.
Deploy it to these 10 machines.
Yeah.
Put them in a collection, deploy this task sequence to that, saying upgrade to so and so Windows 11 version.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the SCCM option.
Yeah.
Fine. So if I come
Yeah.
to Intune, what is the option for OS provisioning?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Intune, you don't have all this imaging concept,
Yeah.
creating images, customizing them with drivers. Okay,
Yeah.
ingesting all other customizations that you need, then uploading this deep image into DP. All this will not be there because Intune is a cloud-based service.
Correct.
Everything is vendor managed.
Yes.
Okay, so what Microsoft says is, so if you use autopilot, I will give you OEM optimized latest Windows version operating system through autopilot. So obviously that will be Windows 11 OEM optimized version.
Okay. I will tell you a
Okay.
case where
Huh.
existing one is a custom image and it doesn't
Huh.
have a recovery partition. Still, you can go through
If it is a
autopilot
custom
of.
image that you want to deploy, then you don't get into Intune. As simple as that.
No, no, no.
Because
I'm
autopilot,
saying
huh?
I'm saying existing one is a custom image. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fine with having a new image of OEM image with support recovery or whatever reset process, whatever it goes through.
Exactly.
Uh, in those case,
Huh.
for an existing AD joined, I want to migrate
Yeah.
it to Windows 11
Huh.
with autopilot.
Yeah.
We why I'm coming into this case is like, let's say my SCM DPs are having a problem or bandwidth
Huh.
problem. Most of them are
Okay.
working from home, ACM storage problems, all these kind of things. Let's say I'm having such some issue with ACM. I want to do
Huh.
the same with Intune. That's
Huh.
what the point I'm coming from. How can
Yeah.
I achieve this from Intune for an SCM PC to migrate to Windows 11 is what my thinking was.
Yes. Okay. So, Windows 10 existing machine, you want to migrate to Windows 11 via Intune.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to do a autopilot reset.
Okay.
As simple as that. Okay. Any other customizations you will have to do post OS provision.
Okay, means like whatever
Okay.
existing
Yeah.
OS is there, that will be migrated through autopilot.
Yes.
Autopilot will take the path of OEM reset process and
Exactly.
then give you the new OS, if my understanding is correct.
Exactly. Okay. Because see, when
When
you move on to cloud, you should be
Mhm.
willing to understand your scope. So if you want again all sorts of customization, but through cloud, that will not be possible.
No,
Because
no,
see,
I just
Intune
want,
is
for example, my simple case is to migrate those existing PCs to Windows 11. If
yes.
it supports a OEM recovery, okay. In that case, I can go through autopilot process. I can initiate on existing PC. Uh,
Yes.
it's an user initiation, or we can initiate as an admin to
You can
reset the
initiate
lab.
as an admin, not a problem.
Okay, we
All the
can.
machines, target
Mm.
machines, you can place in a Intune group, and to that Intune group, you can use this policy deployment for
Okay.
autopilot profile.
Let's say during reset, it gives an option like to keep the device applications or data, all such kind of things,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
In those cases, after reset, still it will be in AD joined and user can log in with his existing profile, right?
Obviously, why domain membership has to change or blocked? Even after reset, it has to come back into same domain, yes or no?
Yeah, normally,
Huh,
few cases in Intune itself I have seen
huh,
when, let's
yeah,
say, I have today an Intune enroll laptop, okay.
huh,
When I reset the laptop,
yes. I'll tell
the
you what is
laptop.
the issue. I got it. I got it. I'll tell you what is the issue. You'll have to create a device configuration profile for
Mhm.
domain joining. Okay. So
No,
after
no, no, no,
autopilot
no, no, no,
reset,
no, no.
huh,
I'll tell you what my, for example, my laptop is completely Azure AD joined PC. It's nothing AD joined or SCM, nothing is there. It's a completely purely Intune PC which is deployed through Windows Autopilot. Okay.
in standalone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely
Yes.
autopilot device. I have logged in and some issue I have got it. I want to reset that laptop. Okay.
Okay.
When I reset that laptop, it will, when I say normal reset, it gives me again the company welcome page and all. When
Hmm.
I say like reset by keeping the data and apps,
Hmm.
uh, it's going wrong. It says like it comes to only admin portal wherever I do reset. For example,
Admin portal in the sense.
let's say I have done a reset of a laptop today, okay, in my login.
Huh.
uh, let's say not my login. I go to the BIOS of any OEM and I will reset the laptop, and I say like keep data and whatever it is. After reset, it just gives the inbuilt administrator profile, not the user profile which was created before.
Okay, so you have something called device enrollment manager account.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are doing in bulk, okay,
Mm.
so you don't want end user to have local admin privilege. Let's say
Yeah.
they should normally log in as end users onto their respective machines. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in Intune, what you can do is you create a device enrollment manager account and use that account for the enrollment process. Okay,
Okay.
so the for the enrollment process, DEM account will be used, and
Mm-hmm.
but when the first login happens after OS provisioning is done,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so users will log in with their identities, and they'll not have any admin privileges on the respective machines.
Okay. This is
So
new.
that is
Let
what
me
you should. Yeah, it's not new.
normal.
It's there from it's there in Intune from long time. You'll have to use something called device enrollment manager.
Okay, you mean to say like when reset happens in the welcome screen, I
Yeah.
need to log in with the device management ID,
No, no, only
or
for the enrollment process. So when I do autopilot,
yeah.
what is your requirement after autopilot provisioning is done? Do you want that machine to come into domain or do you want it to remain in workgroup?
Okay.
Two scenarios, right? Only two scenarios will be there. Do you want it to remain in workgroup or do you want it to join your company domain?
No, that's what. Let's say I have the DEP management in place.
No,
It
leave
only.
about SCCM for the time
Hmm.
being. So tell me what is the requirement after autopilot is through. Do you want that machine to come to domain or remain in workgroup?
To remain in work group only. I don't want to bring that to AD
Still not a
and.
problem. Still not a problem. So if you want it to join domain, additionally you'll have to do one thing. You need to create a device configuration profile for domain join. Okay, now quit that step. Now what has to happen? It has to remain in workgroup.
Yeah.
Okay, but the end user has to log in with his or her identity, and they
Yeah.
should not have any local admin privileges on the device. Yes or no?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we will push an administrator built-in for administrator purpose one of the account for us. Okay, now I'll come to that problem statement. What I was telling
Hmm.
before. Let's say there is an inbuilt one administrator account pushed to that after user enrollment. Okay,
Yeah.
for engineers troubleshooting purpose or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
and if I reset laptop in that pushed administrator account, okay,
Hmm.
it gives only that account. The
Hmm.
user profile which was created is gone.
No.
You got it.
During the
What?
reset, during the
Yeah.
reset, when you say retain all data and apps, it will be there.
Maybe I will test it again. I don't want
Yeah,
to
test
waste
it
other
again.
guys'
Okay.
time. Yeah.
No, no, it's okay. I got your point. So you have to do two things. First of all, device enrollment manager account should be used. Okay. You should not use any account with local admin privilege with which normal users log in. Okay. And
Mhm.
when you are not, formatting the C drive, for example, all user profile will be retained, obviously. So whichever user was logging in previously, that profile should be there. When I'm saying please retain everything, all data and apps, that includes user profile. So after the reset, the machine will still be in workgroup because I have not created any domain joining profile. And
Yeah.
the normal, I mean, whichever user was using the device previous to OS upgrade will now log in with the same identity and password without any admin privileges. He'll be a normal user on the machine.
That's what in our scenario,
Huh.
what is happening is like,
Hmm.
let's say
Yeah, that
you
is
are the
because you
user.
are not using a DEM account, something called Device Enrollment Manager account is what you should be using.
No, let's say I'll tell you a scenario. Okay, today I'm an laptop user. Okay, in lost cases, they will reset the laptop. Right. Similar way,
Yeah.
for some issue, I will reset the laptop. I will initiate a reset laptop. I will ask my Intune admin to initiate a reset process of laptop. Okay. As soon as the process initiated, as soon as it connects to internet, it will reset the laptop. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, and it will come back again to the login page, and again user need to put in his email ID and password. Okay, his existing profile, what was created before, will not be there.
Hmm. Yeah. But
That
his
profile,
identity is there in Intune, right?
hmm,
Ah. So he can log in, right?
means like when
His
you
his
reset,
UPN, yeah, his UPN is still the same. His password is still the same.
the problem here is like he is losing his existing profile data.
Then you should back it up, obviously.
That's where I'm coming.
Yeah. So this
Even
is a work group scenario, obviously, right? So it will
yeah,
not provide all the domain features for you. So in a domain scenario, you may have like a roaming profile and a mandatory profile. So there is no scope of losing user profile data.
yeah, that's the point I
But
want
in
to
a
get
work
from
group,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, now I got
But in a
that.
work group, you'll have only local profile.
Okay, you mean to say like now, let's say
Huh.
I have a AD joined laptop in Copilot co-management. If I
Yeah.
upgrade that to Windows 11, still that user profile will
No, no.
stay.
If it is a work group scenario, co-management does not apply.
No, no, not work group. I'm saying AD
Hmm.
joined only.
Yeah.
It's SCM and Intune managed with co-management.
Hmm.
I want to upgrade through Intune.
Yeah.
Autopilot, whatever you're saying, I need to test it out with my admins. Let's say
Hmm.
I upgrade them to Windows 11. After Windows
Yeah.
11 installation, still user existing profile stays, and he can log in with his normal domain
Yeah.
ID and password.
Yeah. So what you do is because it's a work group scenario, all data you take a backup, including the user
No,
profile.
no, work group scenario, okay, I got it. I'm saying for AD
Yeah.
joined PCs.
Domain joined, you mean.
Yeah,
On-premise domain joined.
yeah.
Yeah, you can have a roaming profile or a mandatory profile. So that location will be different, right? So that will be in some central network location.
No, it's a local profile. For example, let's say it's a local profile, okay?
And
I
local
want
profile
to,
always have to be backed up. There is no other choice.
even for
If it is
AD
a
joined
local
people.
profile, yeah, AD joined also. If it is local profile, it has to be backed up. Yes.
But when we are doing with OSD in
Hmm.
SCM, there is no need to back up anything of local profile, right? It just install upgrades the Windows 11.
Not required. Not required.
No,
You
for
see,
example,
the issue you are facing will only come in workgroup environments, not domain environment.
that's what I think. I'm not clear to
You
you.
are mixing up both the scenarios again
No,
and
no,
again.
leave about Intune,
Huh.
enroll device, work group devices. I'm clear with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After reset, existing profile will not come. The first
Yeah.
scenario, what we was discussing is like, let's say there is an Intune enrolled, AD joined laptop with SCM client and a hybrid Azure AD joined, and it has a co-management in place.
Hmm.
No. And I want to upgrade that to Windows 11. We have two options. One is through SCM, I can upgrade it. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's say my SCM has some problem. I want to do that
Yeah.
with that PC with Intune. Okay.
Ah.
In those case, if I upgrade through Intune
Hmm.
via co-management, after upgrading,
So
the
upgrading
existing.
Intune with via co-management is not the term here.
Mhm.
So if in Intune you are saying about OS provisioning, there is only one feature there, autopilot. That's it. So you'll have to first understand all the features of autopilot And if it is suitable, then only you'll have to go with autopilot. Getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect autopilot just because your SECM DP is down or some other issue. Don't expect autopilot to do exact same things what SECM OSD will do, because they are two different things. They'll have their respective technologies and they have their respective process of provisioning OS.
Okay.
Getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Intune is the option that you want to use to either upgrade your OS or reset your OS, etc., anything to do with operating system, you'll have to create a autopilot deployment profile. That's all.
Yeah. Reset or upgrade without losing existing profile of the user. That is what my condition.
Then you'll have to take backup of that data.
Oh, I understood that. No, it's a
Okay.
completely reset process. We can't
Yes.
do anything with Intune
Yeah.
as
Okay.
such.
Yeah. So that is the option in Intune autopilot.
I can make them autopilot ready and
Huh.
deploy. Nothing much, but not
That is
existing
the only
profile.
option if you are doing through Intune. There
Okay,
is
I
no
got
other
it.
option in Intune for operating system
I
deployment.
want like how we upgrade in SCM, similar way Intune does, or what?
That is what I am telling you, Vishwanath. You are expecting to use an Intune feature, but you are expecting it to behave like a CCM.
Yeah,
How is that possible when they
I
are two
got it.
different
I got it.
technologies
Now
altogether?
existing SCM
Huh.
piece, I need to make autopilot ready and then reset it. That's
Exactly.
the way option I
Exactly.
have. I
So
can't.
now now you assess and you establish if autopilot is the way you should go. Not because SCCM is down or you have some issues with DB. So
It's a
ultimately, why
completely.
are
It's a
huh,
completely different migration altogether. It's nothing to
exactly? So
do with
why are you
the.
doing this OS migration and what is the way you want to do it? You decide based on that. Not because your SCCM is down, you want to use autopilot mode.
Got it.
Okay. So when you move to cloud, understand your scope is limited. You can't do all sorts of customization like you do on premise. Okay.
Okay.
So understand autopilot feature, how it works, what it does, how it will provision your operating system, and in the process, what data it will retain, what data you might lose. So obviously, when it says this is the data you might lose, what is the option you have? You have to take backup of that. So post autopilot, you will do a restore. As simple as that.
Got it, Joseph. The last
Yeah,
thing one I want to ask is like
yeah.
uh, in this curriculum is
Hmm.
you will be guiding us how to create the packages, all such kind of things, or for softwares,
Yeah,
or
I will be showing you deployment. I am not going to do any coding, PowerShell scripting, and all that, honestly. Okay,
let's say I want
but
to
yes,
one of the
deployments I'll be showing.
one of the MSI I want to deploy through Intune. What is the
Yes,
process?
I'll be showing you that. I'll be showing you that. Okay, Win32 app deployment, MSI app deployment. I'll be
Okay,
showing you that. Yes.
but not the scripting part. We need to
No,
learn it separately.
no, separately. PowerShell scripting or any other scripting, you need to learn separately. I'm not myself into scripting much. Okay, but
Mhm.
there are many useful resources online where you get PowerShell scripts
Okay.
for Intune and all that. I can share some useful URLs for
Okay. Okay. At
if
least.
necessary. Okay, yeah. So, but if you want to do some automation, you should learn PowerShell scripting from scratch. Okay,
Oh,
not just for Intune, for any technology for that matter. Intune, SECM, Azure, for many technologies, PowerShell scripting will help you to do a lot of automation. Yes.
okay. Got it. At least
So
for
that,
basic things,
yeah,
whatever for Intune necessary, if you can suggest
I'll
from
give
the
you
URL.
some links. Yeah, I'll give you some links where you get regularly used, PowerShell scripts like that.
Okay.
Sure, that's not a
Fine.
problem. Okay, so
And
PowerShell
from when
scripting
the
is
regular
again,
classes will start, Joseph?
I'll keep in touch with Shankar. Okay, so as soon as we have some registrations, like at least 4 or 5 people, so
Okay.
then we can confirm a batch and start by June 1st, something like 1st of June.
Okay. It will be the
So
same
either,
time or any time changes because we are in CET time zone. Uh,
yeah, so that depends on the turn up basically. Okay, I can do a session in the morning like 8 to 10 IST,
okay.
or if most of the people are employees and time zones don't match, then we'll do a weekend session.
Okay.
Mostly people prefer a weekend session.
Okay.
Okay, so if it is weekdays, we'll have 4 classes per week, like 8
Mhm.
to 10 in the morning or 9 to 11 in the morning,
Okay.
or a completely weekend session, Saturday 3 hours, Sunday 3
Okay.
hours.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's decide that. That will be purely based on the turn up
The
and
enrollment.
timing preferences, etc. But
Okay.
at least if I have like 5 enrollments to begin with, worst case scenario at least 3, then I can give a commitment to you know
Okay, sir.
1 month
Oh, I'll
training
be
batch.
in
Okay,
touch with Shankar then.
please be in touch with Shankar. Probably in about 1 week's time, we should have a status update on this.
Okay.
So if all things fall in place, so something like from June 1st is what, Saturday. So if it's a weekend batch, we'll start from June 1st. If it is weekday batch, we can begin from June 3rd, for example.
Okay. You can
Okay.
count me for weekend batch. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever is your timing preference and batch preference, you can get in touch with Shankar and let him know.
Okay.
So he will make a list of people with preference for weekday and a list of people with preference for weekend. Then based on that, whichever turn up is higher, we will
Yeah.
begin that batch. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vishwanath. So I'll log out then. Good day.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, no problem.